If you've been scrolling through endless options for a home golf simulator and still feel stuck between just a screen and full-blown studio, you're not alone. I've spent the last few weeks trying to piece together what actually matters when you're turning a spare room or garage into a practice space, and this review is the result of that digging. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing that trips most people up isn't the price or the brand name. It's the hidden cost of installation time. A lot of enclosures promise quick setup, but then you end up with a pile of bolts, Allen keys, and a half-finished frame that takes a weekend to finish. The Zixicant Golf Simulator Enclosure claims zero-tool assembly, and that's not just marketing fluff. It really is a snap-lock hub system that clicks together without any screws. In practice, that means you can get the frame up, attach the impact screen, and roll out the turf in under 10 minutes, assuming you have enough floor space. Now, let's talk about the space you'll need. The enclosure measures 8 feet by 8 feet, which is a comfortable size for most mid-range drivers and irons, but it does demand a clear ceiling height of at least 10 feet. If you're planning to set this up in a typical 2-car garage, you'll want to double-check the height before you buy. I measured my own garage and found a 2-foot buffer, which means my driver's shots barely cleared the frame on a few high-trajectory swings. That's a practical limitation you won't see on the spec sheet, but it's the kind of thing that can turn an otherwise great purchase into a source of frustration. The heavy-duty frame itself is made from steel tubing with reinforced joints. In my testing, the structure felt solid enough that I could lean against it without hearing any flex or creak. That sturdiness is important because the screen you attach is a thick, acoustically dampened fabric designed to stop the ball and reduce echo. When I hit a few full-swing drives, the ball stayed on the screen and didn't bounce back into the room, which is exactly what you want if you're sharing the space with other family members or a pet. Speaking of the screen, the HD impact material is actually pretty impressive for a home-grade product. The fabric has a matte finish that reduces glare from ceiling lights, so you can use standard room lighting without a massive washout on the projected image. I paired it with a mid-range projector, and the projected fairway stayed crisp even after a dozen hits. The downside: the fabric is not waterproof, so if you ever get a leak in your garage or decide to set the enclosure outdoors on a rainy day, you'll need to protect it with a tarp. That's a trade-off you have to plan for if your setup isn't in a climate-controlled space. The included putting green turf is another practical element that often gets overlooked. It's a short-pile synthetic surface that mimics the role of a real green, and it fits neatly inside the frame. I tested it by hitting a few putts after a full swing session, and the ball rolled consistently without the chatter you sometimes get with cheaper mats. The real benefit shows up when you're working on short game drills between full swings. You don't have to swap out equipment. You just shift your stance a few feet and continue. That convenience can save you time and keep the practice flow going. Now, who should actually consider buying this enclosure? If you're a weekend golfer who wants to keep your swing sharp during off-season months, and you already have a decent space with at least 10 feet of ceiling clearance, this set gives you a ready-to-house studio without the need for a professional installer. It's also a good fit for families where kids want to try a swing, but you don't want the ball ricocheting off walls. The tool-free assembly means you won't need a handyman, and the sturdy frame can withstand the occasional stray shot. On the flip side, if you're looking for a compact solution for a small apartment or a low-ceiling basement, you'll hit a wall, literally, with the size requirements. Also, serious golfers who want a fully immersive simulation with launch monitors, adjustable lighting rigs, and retractable screens may find the set a bit basic. The enclosure provides the physical barrier and a decent screen, but you'll still need to invest in separate software and hardware to get a true real-course experience. In that case, you might be better off allocating your budget toward a more comprehensive system. One practical weakness that showed up after a few weeks of use is the way the frame anchors to the floor. The kit includes rubber feet that prevent slipping, but on a smooth garage concrete floor they can slide a bit if you swing hard and the ball hits the screen at a steep angle. Adding a few non-slip pads or securing the base with simple brackets is a cheap fix, but it's something you should